And welcome back to another edition of the John Wayne Surge Protector Podcast, a 60/40 production. I'm Eric Halsey.
I am Alex Midway, and we should definitely wrap this bad boy up quickly because the oxy that I took at the start about 5 minutes back is bound to kick in shortly, and I'll be off to a different planet.
Can't wait to see that gloss over in your eyes and start asking real questions.
Yeah, well, the gloss over is going to happen, but I do want to go ahead and update anyone about the medical care in this country. So, essentially, I've been eating these things like Pez, and I run out of them. And at this point, I'm like, yeah, man, you broke your freaking ankle in 3 different spots. Like, yeah, you're in pain. So, like, okay, like, we're going to send someone over to your pharmacy. I'm like, awesome. They're like, yeah, we sent it to the pharmacy. I show up there, like, nah, man, we don't have anything. All right. So I call them back up. I'm like, weird. We sent it to them. It's like, all right, let's send it again. So they sent it over, and when I show up at the pharmacy again, and mind you, I'm on crutches this entire time. I'm walking in there. Life's just miserable. So I walk in there like, no, man, like, we got the whole thing, but we don't have something called prior authorization. And do you know what that is?
I do not.
So when you're like, let's say your doctor sends a pharmacy, a thing like, hey, man, this guy needs oxys. Pharmacy's like, okay, well, who's going to pay for it? Like, oh, insurance will pay for it. So insurance then asked the doctor who sent over a script for oxycodone to say, is this oxycodone really necessary? And if that doesn't make sense, then you heard it correctly.
Yeah, and frankly, this is why we need more Luigis.
Like, it's the same thing. Like, you propose to your girlfriend, be like, hey, babe, here's this ring right here. It's like, yeah, I'm going to need you to justify that. Like, wait, I just gave you a ring that says I want to marry you. It's like, I'm going to need an actual dissertation written just to make sure that you really do want this. Like, what the F is going on?
Well, I feel for you. That does suck. Free Luigi.
Yeah. So I'm surprised. I mean, what's it called? I talked to a nurse friend of ours. Like, this isn't normal. He's like, oh, yeah, like prior authorization's a thing. I'm like, I'm surprised they only shot one CEO. Like, I'm seriously amazed by that fact. Like we can't do copycat crimes of that? I mean, I'm not advocating it, but I'm just asking questions.
Yeah,
like Nick Fuentes.
I'll advocate.
Yeah.
Yeah, what other business would function in that way? Like, if you went to Home Depot, who does not sponsor here, and we're like, hi, I'd like to buy these nails. You're like, we'd love to sell you these nails, but I'm going to need you to I'm going to need, like, the contractor you're bringing them to write me a letter saying why they need these nails. And you're like, yeah, how about you just shut up and take my money?
Or like your car insurance. Like, I get into a wreck, I expect my car, minus my deductible, to be fixed. Like, the insurance, like, they're not like, hey, man, we need a second opinion on 17 different bumpers. Like, whoa. Like, you guys promised me to make this right. Like, it's not the same.
Actually, that is very similar to what a lot of insurance companies do.
Really?
Yes.
Explain.
So I was at one time involved in the automotive industry, and Geico was the worst for me dealing with it. They'd be like, we need prices on all this stuff. We need to fix this car. This guy's covered under our insurance. You go, great, here you go. And then they'd come back and go, could you do it for this? And we'd say, no. And they'd say, all right, we're going to find some Chinese bumper instead, and we'll send some Temu stuff over. It was just, they nickel and dime you. They throw paperwork at you until you say, screw it, and pay for it on your own.
So this might have been from your end, because at time, like, I've had Geico in the past, and one time, some lady sideswiped me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm getting this fixed. I went to the dealership. I was like, it's going to get fixed at the dealership. They're going to do this. And then I sent the bill to Geico, and they're like, okay, well, that's what it is. Another time I got into an accident, and I went to an actual shop, and yeah, like, they'll have this estimating software that says how much we'll pay. But most of the time, the software covers it. And I know, like, in construction, sometimes for insurance work for that, they'll have that. But if you justify to them, like, hey, man, this is a cost. This is, like, to do a toilet, it's not the same in Alabama as it is in, like, West Palm Beach, like, okay, they'll justify it. So it's not as bad, but I guess different stories.
And health insurance is worse. I think all kind of insurance is just sort of a giant scam. It's a huge racket.
Like, no one shot the Geico lizard so far, but they definitely got the United Healthcare guy. So I'm just saying, one might be a little bit more crooked.
Yeah, when Jake from State Farm bites a bullet on the streets of New York,
well,
then we'll talk about maybe we should change some ways. This is if you're paying for it, it's actually covered.
Well, the mass riots are coming. It's election day in New York City, and Zoltan Mamdani is about to get elected. So we'll see what happens with that one. But that's today.
Come on, Zoran.
There we go. So let's go to the world where nothing makes sense, and that's going to be a Tesla ticker. Last time we left you guys on Thursday, 440. It went up to 456 on Sunday, and today it's 444. A lot of stocks and a lot of crypto actually pulled back today, and I was listening to NPR on it, and they're talking about, and when they're explaining it, it doesn't make sense to them either. And like, yeah, man, it's the way we have to evaluate some of these companies. Like, it has to be different for tech companies. Like, traditionally, what you look at is you look at revenue to what it should be, and it should be like 2x, 4x, or 6x. You know what kind of a multiplier of yearly revenue to evaluation Palantir's operating at?
Not a clue.
100x.
Huh.
So that was one of his stocks that pulled back today, but it's one of the things that they mentioned. Like, yeah, man, the valuations of what this company makes a year times what it's technically worth in the eyes of these financial people. Is some of these companies, it's like 50 times, 20 times, or in Palantir's case, 100 times. And some of his stuff right now they're saying is some of his stock is going to pull back because these valuations are just freaking insane.
Yeah, and again, none of it makes sense to me, but 100x seems a bit egregious.
I mean, when you have like your hands in every government office because you own the vice president, that one I can see. But it's like some of these other companies are like, I don't know, man, QuickBooks. Like, you guys shouldn't be that much. Like, and they're talking about like waste management. I'm like, there's only so much trash in the freaking world you can pick up.
That's not what the mob said.
That's true. Let's pull up those numbers. But speaking of things that don't make sense, let's go. One thing I did hear about, because it actually went up to 456 on Sunday. I'm like, wait, why the hell did this stock go up? And the reason is Elon's unveiling something new. And what he said is, we're very close to demonstrating the prototype, Musk told Rogan. And I think this will be, one thing I can guarantee is that this product demo will be unforgettable. And what do you think this is?
I don't know. I don't think he makes anything really well, so.
Well, he stopped talking about full self-driving because that's been coming for over a decade. This is about a flying car. Like, homie's right now pitching flying cars.
I'm in. And you know what? Challenge. You be the one doing the demo. You hop in that cockpit.
You're the first one, but there's so he pretty much let out a really good spec sheet about it. So what he ended up saying is like, whether it's good or bad, it'll be unforgettable. Like, it's not a very good intro, but let's continue. My friend Peter Thiel, once reflected that the future was supposed to have flying cars, but we don't have flying cars. Like, again, two geniuses having genius conversations that none of us can comprehend. Rogan then asked for the specifics about the technology, like where the automobile would have a retractable wing. But Musk said it has a shot of being the most memorable product unveil ever. And he said that the car will be, hopefully, unveiled in a couple of months. So, mark your calendars, and if you need a Christmas present to buy Grandpa, a flying Tesla might fit the bill.
So just based on his words, there is no flying car.
Not a chance. Not an effing chance.
Like, this got brought up on a phone call. You're like, we should have a flying car. And like, to Rogan we go.
Guy jumped in a K-hole, went on Rogan. He's like, I don't know. I'm going to pitch something that's going to justify $1 trillion. Like, flying effing cars. Let's roll.
Just the amount of people he has convinced he's a genius and they just believe every word. I don't understand. If I have a kid and he sticks a penny in the light socket, I'm like, well, no, he's not an idiot. He's just one of those kids you have to tell him no, and then he has to figure out on his own. And then he does it 15 more times. I'm like, well, maybe the kid's just full-blown moron.
This product unveil is going to be more shady than the whole Theranos system with what's her name still in jail for it. But I don't know, man. It doesn't make any sense. But one thing they did come out, one thing that's not going well for Musk, because apparently Norway's sovereign wealth fund went ahead and rejected the package even after hearing about the promise of AI robots and then flying cars. And they actually own about 9% of Tesla, and they're actually concerned about the language in the contract itself, because the contract itself, not only is it giving Musk an S-load of money, it's also kind of doesn't have a succession plan for anybody else. And that's kind of one of the downsides to the whole Tesla hierarchy, so to speak. He's not grooming anyone. There's no one there, and anyone who's ever shown promise has also then been slowly shown the door. So it's not the ideal way for the company. It's an ideal way for him to make cash, because if there's no one else who can do the job, well, it's easy to justify $8 trillion pay package.
Well, not having a heir apparent is also a way to, slimy trick to keep yourself in power at all times.
Yeah. Like, what are you going to do? Let me go? Like, go after yourself. Like, yeah, we probably should. And honestly, I wish I was in his position. Like, I want to be able to go up to my boss and be like, listen, dude, he's like, I'll stay here and I'll just say racist things on this own platform that I have and just zig heil on a national stage. But I'm only doing this if you guys triple my network. Like, having the nuts to be like, that's what I want because of what I've done lately, like, that's amazing to me.
If you took Elon Musk out of the equation and slid Antonio Brown into Musk's position, it's essentially the same exact crazy person saying outlandish S. And I'm guessing the price would go down.
Yeah. Honestly, I would pay to see Antonio Brown in charge of Tesla. I think it's if we're doing fall reboots, or the next time we have a writer's strike, have ChatGPT write that one up.
Yeah, at least Antonio Brown's a scumbag we can kind of relate to.
He did post something online. I forgot what. He still has a Twitter account. It's hilarious. I mean, it's all locker room humor, so don't get easily affected. But some of the stuff that he posts up, some of it is just hilarious. And it's making for a horrible segment since I can't bring up anything. So we'll just meander along here.
Yeah, if you can't find his just search hashtag FBomb of the week.
Yeah. But one thing before we move on to Ukraine, the whole thing about Norway, it's not a nail in a coffin. Last time, Norway also went ahead and voted against the pay package in 2018, but Musk still got that one before having a judge strike it down. So it's not over yet. He can still get paid, but it just shows one large institutional investor be like, no, man, we're not giving you $1 trillion. Like, this is stupid. Like, you're not contributing that much.
I think in order to get this payout, you should sit in front of the Norway committee and eat the whole pack of crayons he came up with this idea with.
Be like, all right, we'll give you $1 trillion. Like, you're getting drug tested. Like, people on all these things right here, unemployment, like, they need to get drug tested. Like, we're doing this for government officials. We're doing it for billionaires. Like, you guys got to take piss tests.
It's fair. It's fair.
Like, I'll stop complaining if they stop having as much fun. Like, you could have $1 billion, but, like, God help you if one day you're hungover. Like, we knock a bunch of money. Like, you're doing fun drugs, dock you a bunch of pay. Like, yeah, you can have a yacht, but you better be dead sober. Like, we're taking something away from you.
Yeah, and if it pops, right, like you pop a dirty piss test, we take away your subsidies like you want to take away SNAP benefits.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That seems fair. Seems fair.
Honestly, I think it's a good solution. If I have a billionaire, like, that's fine. Like, I will give you the rights to go ahead and just start talking S all over, like in print. Be like, I hate the Porsche. You guys are so stupid. I won't be offended. If I know that at the end of the day, you can't go home, crack open a beer, smoke a joint, or do anything else like that, be like, you know what? Have fun on your yacht, buddy. He's like, I'm going to take mushrooms and watch an ocean wave.
Yeah. There would be a little bit of solace in there to be like, yeah, he doesn't have the anxiety of worrying about financial problems, but also his life sucks.
Guess he's unable to look at a popcorn ceiling for a couple hours and enjoy themselves. That guy. Well, I have 6 helicopters. Like, don't care.
Yeah. Let's get him clean and sober, and then ask him again about flying cars.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's a dumb idea. That's never going to work. Like, aha, I knew it.
We can't even figure out autonomous driving yet.
Who would
pitch that idea? That sounds like something an idiot would do on a podcast.
I mean, if they're flying, technically we'll hit less school kids, so I can make it work. So, one thing about today's Ukraine update, it's actually going to be just a full-on war update, because we went from Department of Defense to Department of War, so today we're going to hit on a couple of them, and contrary to popular belief, there's not everlasting peace all over the world because President Trump is in office. It's quite the opposite. But there is something really cool that Ukraine ended up doing. And do you still remember the whole Operation Spiderweb, right?
Yeah, of course. It was amazing. Yeah.
Well, this is also pretty amazing, too, in itself. Ukraine went ahead and blew up a Kaltasvoy pipeline in the Rumensky district. And it's also a lot to unpack because this whole pipeline spans about 250 miles. It provides gas, diesel, and jet fuel from refineries to wherever it's going. And it had a drone net over it, so you can't really fly drones into it. So Ukraine went ahead. They went there in person, caught a little quick Uber down there, loaded up the explosives, and blew this thing up. And do you know where exactly the Rumensky district is?
I mean, I obviously do as a man of the world, but I'm assuming for the rest of our podcasters, please tell us.
It is literally an hour and a half away from Moscow. Like, they stepped up in their backyard, blew up this pipeline. There was multiple videos of Moscow, like, without electricity. Like, going on year 4 of this war, you roll up into somebody's house, and then they're coming back to your house and knocking out your pipeline and your, like, electricity, gas, jet fuel, and everything else like that. That is effing huge.
Yeah, Ukraine is definitely the aggressor.
Wait. They're allowed to hit us back? This isn't war, this is genocide. Like, no, dude.
Oh, man. Remember when he thought this was like 3 days at best? This was a long weekend?
I was like, oh no, it'll be over. No, don't worry, guys, it's fine. I was like, oh god, they're where?
I'll say it again, man. I'm gonna write my congressman. They should change their name from Ukraine to Honey Badgerstan.
Great name. It's also got a lot of clicks out there on the YouTube shorts. So again, check us out, JWSP Media, one word on the YouTubes.
Also, JWSP at Grindr.
We're all over the place.
Catch us at the RNC.
We're crashing networks, baby. So, if you're wondering what Russia ended up doing as a response, they launched an Iskander cruise missiles with cluster warheads into a residential neighborhood. So, tit for tat on Russia. But let's go ahead and shift it over to the Middle East. I told you it's going to be a war update, and before we even go into the whole Gaza Strip, we got to remember what's happening with Israel. And Israel's out there making room for more U.S. missiles by expending the existing on the people of Lebanon. And just a quick history lesson, back in 2023, Hezbollah out of Lebanon area down there, they went ahead and in solidarity also started launching attacks on Israel, but they went ahead and negotiated a ceasefire in 2024. Do you know what an Israeli ceasefire is?
I'm guessing just based on this past week or so, that's where you shake hands, but you have your fingers crossed behind your back?
Yes. So when they negotiated back in 2024, there's still been like intermittent fighting by both parties. And on Saturday, Lebanon's president Joseph Aoun, he accused Israel of escalating these strikes. He's like, "Hey man, how about we negotiate a more lasting peace?" And what he's talking about is the lasting peace that's in there currently. They have Israeli troops stationed in 5 different areas. They have Israeli fighter jets striking targets on a daily basis. And like like Israel went ahead and said, like, "Hey man, all we're doing is just attacking militants." But the body count by the United Nations is over 110 people, and most of them are women and kids. And I don't know how you call it a ceasefire and still are able to launch a jet with weapons every other day.
Yeah, I don't think those rules apply to Israel. Like, I don't know if it's like part of the Google translation thing or what, but I think it just means something different.
Like, it's lost in translation, like you said. But if we also like, we're done down there with Lebanon, but the more current one is what they're doing in Gaza. And today, Israeli settlers went ahead and stormed. Do you know what?
What?
If you said the world's third holiest site in Islam, the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, you would be correct, because the settlers went in there under the protections of soldiers and police, because that sounds like a solid ceasefire, is when the military and the cops are letting you go violate like religious holy sites. Because if there's one thing I've learned, is religious people, they're cool with you rolling up in their religious places.
Yeah. So I see here it says Israeli settlers stormed the mosque. Do you think they stormed it, like just went in just to show, we can come in here whenever we please, or was it storm like, one of those Capitol tours that just got a little out of hand with people smearing feces on the walls?
Depends which news station you watch, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Much
Okay.
like January 6th.
Fair enough. I'm sure they were very calm and respectful within the mosque.
They probably went in there just to show solidarity. Like, "Listen, guys, you look like you're running short on food. Let us give you some canned goods and all these bagels with lox." But one thing I did read about is the U.S. has reportedly circulated a draft resolution among UN Security Council members for international stabilization force in Gaza. Israel is obviously trying to influence it, according to U.S. and Israeli media. And honestly, I don't know how much influencing Israel really has to do on a resolution passed by us. Like, I would imagine it is heavily favored to Israel.
Well, if there's one thing we've learned about AIPAC so far, it's never enough.
Keep it going. I can't wait till this thing comes out and it's just like, the international peacekeeping force will be nothing but Israelis. Like, wait, what the hell?
Yeah. And also, just in case, because I bring this up anytime Israel gets brought up, or at least I try to, because of our funding to Israel, they have universal health care.
Yeah, they should.
So just jot that down. That socialist country of theirs.
Well, we're not communists, so, we have that going for it, and I personally prefer that. I say this before receiving my upcoming hospital bill.
Well, at least we're saving that $6 a year on our tax about cutting SNAP. So, congratulations on the more money we're about to send you, Israel.
If I could screw a domestic child and then still send money for bombs to Israel, I could sleep well at night.
Buddy, Israel's on a streak that just will not be stopped. They are the 2018 Chiefs right now.
Well, hopefully they turn into the 2025 Chiefs sometime soon, but again, Department of War, baby, so we got a whole lot of things going on. And have you heard about the whole thing in Nigeria and the president tweeting about it or truthing about it?
I did catch a little bit of that.
Yeah, so apparently there's a giant genocide. And if you had said Gaza, you'd be wrong, because clearly there's no genocide down there, but there is one in Nigeria. and it's only against the Christians out there. And he came out there and he's screaming about it, and he said Pete Hegseth should prepare for fast military action unless the killing of Christians isn't stopped in Nigeria. And this sounds a little bit similar to when he said there's massive killings in South Africa, and then we got a bunch of South African racist refugees. Or it's like the same thing where he's like, they're killing the dogs, eating the cats. Like, oh my God, that's huge. Like, two weeks later, like, what happened to that? Your president's like, I don't remember anything about that. It stopped. It was Joe Biden's fault. Like, it's the same thing.
I think this is different. And this is the one reason why. Something tells me Nigeria is not going to get a whole ass pass saying, come on through and become American citizens.
No. We're going over there on this one. Yeah, we're not bringing in even Nigerians here. Like, whoa. Like, the guy who runs Ford isn't from a Nigerian background. Like, the guy who runs Tesla is from there. But Nigeria did have a response to it. Their Foreign Affairs Ministry spokesman has come out and said, like, listen, man, like, we acknowledge that there are killings that are taking place in Nigeria. Those killings are for everybody. Like, we have a lot of issues going on. He's like, we also welcome U.S. assistance as long as it recognizes our territorial integrity. Like, buddy, if we're coming in, we're not recognizing blank. So, do you have any idea who's got the largest reserves in Africa and the 10th most in the world?
Well, seeing as how I guess we're telling everybody we're gearing up to go to Nigeria, I'm guessing them.
100% that is exactly what's there. And our president's got the mindset of a freaking 49ers during the gold rush, and he just wants to get as much rare minerals and oil as he can. And I know I said that Nigeria has the largest oil reserves in Africa, but do you know who's got the largest oil reserves in the world?
No, who has that?
The same guys with the quote-unquote drug boats in Venezuela. So, in case you keep track, like, we've been blowing up things down in Venezuela thinking about going in, and we're also thinking about going into Africa, the first and 10th in the world as far as oil goes.
Well, it's good to know that drug boats are the new weapons of mass destruction. We're coming and we're taking it all.
Like, I haven't checked, but I think it's still pretty easy to get drugs on the street, but whatever. I guess we just got to blow more of them up. That's it. But one thing I'll leave off on the whole president thing, over a weekend he's come out and he said, like, oh, China's buying all the soybeans. I made a deal. And for anybody who's got a Republican friend who's pretty much pitching that angle to him, just go ahead and tell them that, first of all, they're buying less soybeans than they did when the tariffs first started. We're cooked because of the tariffs, because the prices on Walmart are still through the roof. And to get them to buy soybeans, we ended up giving them AI chips by NVIDIA that they're not supposed to have, that help AI computing and all kinds of weapons. So we lost out on this deal. So if they try to go at you at that little angle.
Yeah, we had a deal in place. Then he started the tariff BS. And then they went and found someone else to buy from. So we gave them something more so they could buy less from us. Because art of the deal.
Art of the deal, boys. That's how you bankrupt casinos.
Yeah, wild one. So we're almost out of time, but I did want to speak on this a bit. This morning we lost true patriot Dick Cheney. This morning, news broke at about 7:30 a.m. Dick Cheney ate it, and instead of blaming him for 9/11 or all of the unfair non-compete contracts Halliburton ended up with over the big 20-year war for WMDs that never existed, I'll instead take the cues from the White House and also not be giving any condolences. Instead, I'll end with my favorite tweet of the day from I Hate NYT. Scene. Lynn Cheney wearing leather hot pants, a bustier, and 30-inch extensions in her hair to the funeral trying to outdo Erica Kirk. 10 out of 10 tweet.
Yeah, she's definitely mourning pretty well out there.
Yeah, more on that Thursday.
So it's I'm Alex Midway, and Dick's out for Dick, I guess.
Eric Halsey and I don't know, Free Luigi.
Daddy, chill.
Later, Gators.